Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new Let's Play on the channel in March of the Eagles, Napoleonic Paradox game. This is actually the Paradox game that got me into the wider scope of all of the Paradox games. It came out just before EU4, I think a few months before that game came out, just to give you kind of idea, mid-early 2015, I believe. I haven't seen anybody ever play March of the Eagles on YouTube. I mean, there probably are people who have done it. Just none that I have actually seen or that I somewhat follow. I've never seen anybody play it, but again, this game did come out 4 years ago, so they played it then. They probably played it years ago. So, you know, Victoria 2 series ended, so, you know, I thought, why not jump into another Paradox game, an older one, and one that, again, got me interested in the entire genre of, I guess, grand strategy games. So, we're going to be playing as France just because it's a big country. It's simple. You know, they're the main focus point of any Napoleonic War, obviously. So right now we are at war with the British. I don't think there's a way I can actually Okay. So as you can see, this is our coalition right now. We're at war with the British. The coalition system works. Let me see. Is there anyone in coalition against me? They're kind of like major factions. So this, you know, this is our side right here. We're against the British. They've not called anybody into their coalition. So the way coalitions work, let's say if I was going to talk to Austria here, I can invite them to a coalition but they like the British too much. But if they hated Britain, we could pay them to be in an alliance with us, which would then allow them to be at war with the British. There's no other way to make alliances other than through this coalition system, and there's only two coalitions against the two leading powers. The leading powers in either Navy or the leading power in Army. And you have to be leading power in both to actually win. Because unlike most Paradox games, there actually is a victory condition. And for us, it's owning... we need 100% land domination and 100% naval domination. Of course, we have 0% naval domination and 100% land. And Britain is the opposite. They have 0% land and 100% of their navy. So for us, our... which button is it here? Economy, culture, dominance. So what we need to do is we need to conquer enough of these blue provinces. You can see there's some up here in Denmark. There's one over here in Austria, one in Spain, one in Ireland. So we need to control 100% of these, or at least most of them, enough to actually consider 100% domination. And then on top of that, we have to make sure that the British do not have enough naval domination. But of course, most of theirs is in the British Isles. So you would have to basically essentially have to take Dublin from the British at some point. Which basically means at some point we have to do a naval invasion of Ireland. And if you know anything about Napoleonic naval history, it doesn't go very well for the French. So we gotta definitely kind of change that tide. So our navy kind of sucks. The British army kind of sucks. So that's how we're kind of balanced amongst ourselves. We do have a handful of puppet states. The Dutch, Italy, Switzerland, Tuscany, and the papacy are all under our control. Spain right now is just a coalition member. They're not actually a puppet of ours. We do have ideas here. So this is essentially, instead of technology, you have idea points. They generate at 15 per month. I'm guessing some things can actually change this. Unlike, you know, most modern Paradox games, it's a little bit bare bones in some other aspects. If you look at decisions, there's like 4, and that's about it. Some countries have 0. Like, I think Spain might, like, have no decisions whatsoever. Yeah, and you can basically see here, these are all the provinces that we need. A handful of the land provinces we don't own, but... I don't think we can actually just attack you. Alexandria would be nice to have. A lot of territory from Austria. Of course, we're going to definitely take territory from these guys at some point. So I generally like fighter ideas first, because, you know, you generally have a lot of infantry, but I'm guessing artillery is already pretty high up. They don't get more expensive the further you go down, so you can just kind of keep on going. Army front is minus 15%. Artillery attack was 20% would be nice to actually get our way up to. Ship costs going down. Construction time for ships going... I mean, getting ship ideas? Land attrition minus 10% would be nice. Because attrition is a very big deal in this game. Like, it'll absolutely cripple your armies if you don't have enough supplies. Only diplomatic skill goes up by a little bit. I really don't think that's that important. So we're going to go down the French ideas just so we can get up to artillery attack plus 20%. And the other ones don't really seem as great. Monthly idea points plus 10%. Actually, no, that would be pretty nice as well. Basically, almost doubling our idea generation. We got some British ships here. We have a pretty large army down here. And we also have a lot of guys down here in Italy. Generally, Sicily over here will join the enemy, as well as Prussia and Austria. So we got to make sure we can at least deal with all of them accordingly. We got a 15 stack here. We need to assign a bunch of generals to all these guys. Okay, so you are going to march away. Basically, you're going to march away down towards you. So you right now, 10,000 infantry, 3,600 artillery, and 1,200 cavalry. People are in the reserves. What is your supply limit? 25,000, about 30,000 down here. So I can probably, this 3,000 can just kind of group up with you. Nobody's defending this fort. Can I put you inside of the fort, even though it's not actually my fort? Then we'll stand and fight any enemy that might appear, create new unit. There's actually a lot of things in here you can do. One of them being march to the sound of the guns, which basically means if there's a battle here and you're not looking at it, if you have guys that are marching to the sound of the guns, they will actually reinforce that army for you. And we can't do scorched dirt yet. We can't force march yet. But that's fine. I guess we actually can't garrison this fort because it's not actually directly under our control. It's going to have 65,000 men. So I'm going to make all of you go up and around like this. There are like a bunch of different types of units. If we look at, let's say, Verdun, we want to train up a troop. There are a lot of different troops you can build. There's actually like a lot of variety in what you actually want to build. We have 136,000 manpower. So right now in Paris, I am going to set up a rally point. I am going to just train up a handful of troops. Generally, I like line infantry. And how much money do we have? Actually, they're pretty cheap, so we can train up a handful. Let's build up like 6,000 here. And then we're also going to build some artillery brigades. But we don't want the artillery brigades to the horse artillery. You can't really compare their stats in here, unfortunately. I have to go into this tree. Postal. Your artillery brigade. Supply brigades would be important. Okay, so you're a horse. Horse and artillery. So you are speed. So yeah, they're definitely faster, but they have less attack. A little bit. They actually have more attack on the cavalry here. And they can invade a little bit better. So we're going to train up a handful of horse artillery as well. So horse artillery. Train up like 3 of you. Set them in production. And then I'm also going to train up a handful of supply brigades. Because you do need the supply brigades. They're very important for when you actually start going into enemy territory. You will run out of supplies very fast if you don't. We're also going to build... You basically like look how expensive the ships are. We're going to start building a handful of boats. They take about half a year to build each. Build some troop transports. We're not going to have them sail anywhere. They're just going to stay in their ports. You have 66 unemployed leaders. Some reports are being blockaded. We're at war. I know that. Nothing too crazy there. So Verdun up here, Verdun has 70,000 manpower. So you can stay up here for now. You're going to set up a 30 stack up here. I have a handful of guys just around here to defend our coast. But other than that, most of you need to start making your way towards the enemy. And right now, one thing that should be noted is that eventually people are going to start guaranteeing everybody, but nobody's guaranteed at the very beginning of the game. And because nobody's guaranteed at the very beginning of the game, you can immediately basically declare war on some of these people really, really cheap and easily. Assuming, you know, that's not actually guarded by anybody. Like Hessen is natural rivals who are threatened by a bunch of people, has military access, but they are not defended by anybody. So that's important. So Baden down here. I think you only have 6.5 thousand men. So I could like declare war on them right away. And just basically take them over pretty easily, take all this territory for myself. I'm going to declare war on you, and I'm also going to declare war on you. Because again, none of these guys have any military access. Or no military alliances or anything like that. So I basically just essentially declare war immediately. And then we'll go take over these cities. So now it's been, 10 minutes already. So let's start actually playing the game. Yeah, British formed a coalition against us. Who joined that coalition? Can I see? Brunswick did. Who is one of these guys, but I'm not too sure which one. Where is Brunswick? Not Wurmberg. Mecklenburg. No, you're Brunswick, but you're not actually doing anything. So I'm going to put some troops on your border just in case. The Dutch are trying to attack the British. Yeah, so you're now worth you. But that basically essentially means that I can just march over here to kill you because you only have 3.6 thousand men, which is not a ton. So kind of like in Hearts of Iron, or not Hearts of Iron, EU4, and also Hearts of Iron 4. If you walk into an enemy territory that has no fort, you immediately take it over, but you have to siege down forts. You don't have enough commanders, so there you go. You should be fine as you are. It looks like the Dutch are going to deal with Nassau for us, which is lovely. And essentially, you only need to take over the cities. They're what give you actual war score. We lost 127,000 men against 4.5 thousand, so that's pretty solid for us, I would say. So this is basically already immediately dealt with. They're going to move our troops way up to Hanover. We're already sieging down basically Mecklenburg's only city, so it shouldn't be that big of a threat. To us, at least. Gibraltar is down here. They have 11,000 men. Gibraltar is, you know, not to sound rude, but they are extremely annoying to siege down. As you can see, we're taking 7% attrition. Because the Dutch are here. I don't know if I can tell the Dutch not to be... This force is not avoiding battles. Create new unit. Current attrition, max attrition, Revolution Empire is actually a negative 20% attrition modifier. That's actually pretty good. We do have 1,000 supply units here. Of course, I'm going to keep on assigning generals. They don't get assigned automatically, unfortunately. Actually, no, it looks like they kind of are slowly being assigned out. So I'm going to combine these armies together, throw in some guys like that. Beautiful. Combine you guys together. You already have some commanders. So I'm going to go down here, just ready to go for an invasion of Sicily if it comes to that. No, actually, no. You stay here. The 9.5 thousand go down here to Bologna. I know that's not how you say it, but that's how I'm going to say it anyways. So 36,000 men. You march up north because the British have already immediately landed a large army over here. Russia has joined in a coalition against us. But you all like the British too much. Which is a shame. There's a ledger, right? Yeah, an outliner. But it shows every single city in the country, which is a little bit much. So Bremen and Hanover are being sieged down. Because all of our armies... I mean, I don't think you can limit this in any way. Supply areas. Some of these areas are a little bit low. Hanover and Bremen. Yeah, no, that's fine. How are sieges going? 18, 20%. Nothing too bad. The British are probably going to take a lot of attrition. Because they do take attrition. And that's great. So we're going to go over to Hanover. They're actually they have 126,000 men here. So they're taking over that fort. They basically just assaulted it. How many men is it in this fort? 900 men. We have a high chance of winning the assault. Next defense is in 5 days. Of course, you want like a pretty... you want good numbers here. We definitely need more troops on this front line. So, you are... Damage. The walls have been breached. But the walls being breached, that does mean it's going to be a lot easier to assault that down. Can you even start... I can't... Okay, I can't look at your progress right now on that. So, your 5 ships of the line, your 5 light ships, your 12 transports, definitely are going to lose that naval battle. Your 8 ship of the lines, that's definitely going to lose as well. Because, again, the British Navy is just, like, pretty strong. I do need more men up here, though. Just had another 16,000 up. Of course, like, I want these territories under my control because they will just make moving up to this northern part of Germany a lot simpler. Fantastic. We've won a siege. The Dutch look like they're just going to be assaulting up there. Let's move our troops all the way up to the north. And like that, this guy's basically already completely occupied. And over here, we have Hessen. But basically, subsidizing Brunswick. Apparently, actually, nobody is, trying to secure West Hessen, which is surprising because I feel like Hessen's actually like a pretty important country, and it would actually allow us to have a lot of free movement in the area. Okay, so you, like, would you sue for peace? Yeah, we have 100%, so we can just annex them. Be pretty simple for you as well. I think we can. We don't diplomats to send. Okay, fine. We've just annexed this guy. Excellent. Hopefully the Prussians don't get too mad about that, but... 14,000. No, they're just trying to enter one city. I mean, I've taken over your entire country. I don't know if you know that or not. Yeah, I'm just going to annex you outright. Thank you very much. As far as I know, there's not really a reason to ever puppet somebody. I might be wrong, because... I mean, because the puppets can rebel against you. Like, they will attack you. I mean, I would like to take over this guy as well. And again, now it just allowed us to move troops so much easier. We could do that. There are 20,000 men here. Assign some commanders to this army. What is this bar? Your flank of the front is a 4. Normally, battlefield allows coverage of 50, but terrain... Basically, does that mean that it's hard to flank us? Or that it's really bad? No, okay, I think we want a low number. But I don't actually know that much. So you're going to move your way up to the far north. We still desperately need a lot more men, so... Essentially... Again, like, I just think line 3 are the best. I'm gonna actually, maybe I should take a look at the actual stats here, though. We got a handful of infantry up here. Elite guard, probably, I mean, they're probably the best, right? Sort by size, or by manpower cost. By attack, these guys are the best. Guard brigade, line infantry, the ones that we've been building, have a attack of 3.6. A somewhat okay amount of defense. Their morale is pretty low. Apparently, they won't use a lot of coverage. So, you know what? We'll build a handful. Let's basically build a handful of a bunch of random guys. Let's build a handful of elite troops. We'll build a handful of line infantry. Of course, I do want some cavalry. I should not be ignoring the cavalry. Which I kind of did for that 120 stack I built, but don't worry about that too much. And then we'll also, of course, get our horse artillery brigades. Build a handful of them up. Beautiful. Yeah, 100,000 men, though, is a lot. Portugal's entered a military alliance with us. That's okay. Prussians are moving troops around. It's not great. Are we technically winning or losing this war? We're at negative 2% here. But that's not that bad. We've lost one battle. Apparently, the Dutch actually won that one naval engagement they had, but then they lost the second one, which kind of is a shame, but what can you do? You know what? You stay here. Yeah, Siege of Hanover's fallen. They're landing more and more troops in this area, but I don't know if the, don't know if they're actually really going to attack us. No. The AI will basically never offer annexation. They'll offer something else. They basically never offer, you only get 1 diplomat per month. Maybe I do want more diplomats. This is basically pretty bad. There's a lot of British troops up here in Germany, but don't worry about that too much. Sure, everything will kind of resolve itself. Oh, they've actually landed troops over here. Fantastic. You move around here. Got some guys trying to rally in. Where are you guys going? You're going to Paris. Well, we can't let the French just take everything. Yeah, they're sieging down other forts. Where are where's battles over here? Human players, land rally points, building depots. Don't worry about that too much. I guess we have to maybe look at every single one of our armies. I mean, these are all garrisons. These are our armies. So just kind of look for any skulls, I guess. See if anybody ever getting attacked over there. How much supply can you have? You can have 70,000. So that's actually a decent amount. But I think with this, it's going to be a good time to end this episode. Thank you for watching. My name is Sam. If you've enjoyed, give it a thumbs up. If not enjoyed, you can always thumb down. If you want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.